Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Influenced by Kim. I'm your host, Hofit Kim Cohen Myers, and I'm so grateful to have you here. And today I am recording to you at 11 o'clock at night in my dining room area with a brand new mic. And I just hope that the mic is giving. I hope that it sounds good and clear. Did some tests. I hope the battery will sustain. I got one of those cute little Mikeys. I don't know. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. So it's like, when people make reels and they hold the little mic. So I got one of those because I have not yet set up my official mic upstairs. But anyways, let's take a deep breath before we start this podcast episode. I'm going to be talking about something today that I want to say that I'm confused. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people go through this and just never talk about it. Okay, so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how no one ever prepares you to realize that the family you always thought you had doesn't actually exist. I haven't heard anyone really cover this topic. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of personal things that have been going on in this podcast episode. We're also going to be talking about waiting for an apology that's never going to come, and how no one ever prepares you for losing the longest relationships you've ever had in your life. So without further ado, let's dive into this topic. This podcast episode is literally dedicated and for my black sheeps. If you know, you know. I am definitely a black sheep in the family. And yeah, let's just dive into it. Social media is always evolving and changing. And while a podcast is not social media, but 3 years ago, I had a miscarriage, and it was a very brutal one. I was pregnant with twins and things got really crazy. And this podcast episode has nothing to do with that. But I felt like there is no way that I could have just not talked about it on social media. I didn't know what was ahead of me. I didn't know I thought it was a fluke. I don't know how to explain. I got pregnant in November. And January 13th was the miscarriage day. And I was like, oh, I'm good. We'll try again, 2 weeks. Absolutely delusional. Just absolutely delusional. I was sick until April, late April, May still, no, yeah, May still recovering, June, barely getting back to myself. Just everyone's body is different. Everyone's experience is different. In my case, they made a lot of mistakes, but I'm so glad that I shared it online. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because even though it was difficult to share, it was so healing to me to share, and it was very healing for other people to hear. And that is exactly why I'm recording this podcast episode. Shared it. I share things not to put anyone down, not to hurt anyone. And it's interesting because the topic that I'm going to talk about today, if the people that I'm going to be talking about are going to hear this, they're going to think that I have some malicious, evil agenda, which is how they've always believed and lived. And it's a projection of their belief, and that's okay. But they think that there's a malicious, evil agenda behind it. And the truth is everyone perceives information differently, and everyone, some people judge information, some people perceive information, some people are more open-minded, some people are more closed-minded. But the reason why I always share, and I want you guys to also know that although I've been an influencer for 12 years almost, in February, March, it'll be 12 years, that's psycho. Before I was an influencer or blogger, I still was kind of doing the same thing. I mean, I can really take this back to high school, where I had this thing called a live journal, and I was 16 and I started journaling online and saying the truth. And it was never to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just bluntly honest, and again, perception is perception, but like everyone just perceives information differently. But like my goal in everything was always to like share my stories and like not make people feel alone, make people feel seen. Because most of my life I felt very, maybe I didn't realize that I was feeling lonely, but I was feeling alone, which are two completely different things. I recently realized that what I've been experiencing is very lonely, specifically what we're going to talk about today. But most of my life, I felt very alone. And I felt very alone because my role on this planet is not for everyone to understand, and that's fine. But some of us are, I guess, the black sheeps, the star seeds, these just, I don't know, indigo children, these people that I honestly, in my belief and in my experience, in my high levels of spirituality, know that like certain souls chose to come here. They volunteered as tribute. They've been here a lot. They are what we call an old soul. Old souls have just been around the block a lot, and they know a thing or two. And they're sent to Earth to shift things. And now every family has a black sheep, but notice how every family has one black sheep. There's only one. Can't be two. Don't lie to yourself. There's no two. They'll be like, yeah, but my sister. No, there's just one. It's intentional. It's crafted that way. It's not an accident. But every family dynamic has this one individual that just sees the world different, sees life different, has a different perception than everyone else. And what normally happens to that individual is they get criticized. They're made to believe that they're wrong, that their opinions are wrong, that they're wrong, that why can't they just be normal, all this shit, right? And it's very isolating and it's very lonely to be that character. And I am that character in my family dynamic. And it's a very lonely, what the fuck moment. Sometimes when I was younger, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, what is wrong with me? In fact, the reason why I even became spiritual and became like deep and like just a mindset coach, and I'm really, I don't share this publicly enough, but if you asked me or my husband, what is my specialty? And I'm really good at mastering skills. And I have mastered a lot of skills. But if you ask my husband or I, what am I best at? It's shadow work. I'm a problem solver. I see patterns. And I know exactly what you need to twitch and do. And I'm really good at giving perception and just perspective. And your life will fucking change. I'm good at breaking generational trauma. Not good. I'm fucking excellent. I'm incredible at breaking generational trauma. I'm really good at doing shadow work. I'm really good at seeing what people don't see and healing through that and processing that in a really healthy, deep way. And that cup of tea is not for everyone, but that's what the fucking black sheeps are. They're like literally called the black sheep. Like they're like the shit, the bad shit, right? But like we're actually like the good shit. We're like the shit. Every single family has them. And so what I wanted to say about that is because it's like, it's interesting how there's only one in each family. There's not two, don't lie to yourself, but like, it's because there's very few of us, and there's very few of us, like, right, like if we put like all the statistics of all the numbers of all, there's only so many families on earth as there are humans, right? But we're definitely outnumbered. There's more regular people than there's more sheeps than black sheeps, okay? And we're definitely outnumbered, so it always feels lonely. But there's not a lot of us because not a lot of us want to volunteer as tribute to come here to Earth and be that person that rocks their fucking family and breaks generational trauma. And that's what black sheeps do. They break generational trauma. Old souls that volunteer as tribute, star seeds, indigo, it's all the same fucking thing, just different wording for it. They're sent on Earth to create shift and change. And as you notice, like even in school, there's like these patterns. There's the disruptors. They're the daydreamers. There's just this they're the ones that don't listen, that go against the herd, that go against society. They're the ones that are like pointed out by teachers. They're so bad. They're disrupting the class. Like, yep, those are black sheeps. So hold on. I'm trying to remember. I can just go on and on about like all this stuff. I'm trying to remember what I wanted to say. Okay. So this episode is very hard for me because I know that the people that I'm going to be talking about, they're going to be like, she's doing this out of evil intention. And the truth of the matter is I'm not. I'm doing this because I know I'm not the only one. Okay. But also I'm going to rewind and say that I'm going to relate this to back to my miscarriage story, is that I shared what I was going through online. And at the time, not a lot of people were sharing about miscarriages. Now, a lot of women are sharing about miscarriages. But what was the shocking theme about sharing? And everyone has, there's like worser ones, there's less worse ones, like miscarriages, right? But like the ongoing theme was that people were thanking me. People were like, thank you. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm getting a download. Like, it's not even about me. It's about like the people. It's about like, I always feel like I'm a fucking messenger. Like, I just listen to God. That's it. In the universe. Like, they just tell me and they use me as a tool and as a funnel to share messages, and I just do my job. And some people are like, a lot of people make it about themselves, and it's not about them. It's not about them. And it's deep and it's true. And that's the download I just got in my head, is that it's not really about my family. Like, it is, but it's not. It's about my role on planet Earth and how I was chosen to make people not feel alone. And to feel seen in ways that I never was seen. And so when I shared my miscarriage, I got like a flood of messages of like, that happened to me too, and thank you for sharing, and no one ever talks about this. And it was actually shocking to see how many women had gone through a miscarriage, but nobody talks about it at the time. This was 3 years ago. Like, no one talks about it. Now I see a lot of influencers talking about it. I feel like everyone talks about it. I think a lot of people have shame and guilt about it. I think it's uncommon to talk about it. And so most people don't talk about it. And I think that what I'm about to talk about today, I don't know. I don't think most people talk about it because there's shame and guilt involved. And it has to do with your family. It has to do with your parents. And I know that I'm not the only one. And this isn't about my parents, like it is and it's not, right? It's not about putting my family down or my parents down, even though I already know it's going to be perceived that way. And it's unfortunate that that's just their belief system, but I'm just separating from them on that situation. But like, I really want to share because I've been doing a lot of deep work. God in the universe has been putting me through the motherfucking ringer when it comes to the house of family. House of family. God, when I think about this deeper, I feel like this should be split into like multiple podcast episodes. I'm going to say this. And if this is like, if you'd like me to talk more about this on maybe a separate episode, let me know. But like, here's the thing, like, no one actually tells you or teaches you about leaving your old family and merging into a new family once you get married. Like, no one talks about that. When I'm talking, it's not just a wedding and you exchange rings and like now you just are husband and wife. Like, there is a merging phase, okay? There is a merging phase where you have left your old family and you are starting a new family, and you need to prioritize your new family in a very different, like, the roles shift, the energetics shift. Like, there's like a learning phase. There's like a phase, like a merging phase. I think those who have babies like right after the wedding, they just get to just like jump right into it. That's just not my story, right? Like, I've been married now for a year and a half, and that's just not my story. We didn't get married and have a baby right away. But I feel like if we would have, it just would have been different. But that's just not part of my story. You know what I mean? Like, it's like everyone just goes through their own lessons, and everyone has their soul contract, aligned timing for when things are supposed to happen for them. And that's okay. I understand time. I understand destiny. I understand all these things. Babies need to be reincarnated in specific timelines. Like, I get it all. But no one ever talks about like the merging of two souls becoming one. It's very poetic of me. But like, no, for reals. Like, I'm gonna make a different podcast episode talking about like the shifts and changes I've had to make, like mentally, physically, and emotionally, um, since being married, and like, and I still feel like I'm going through it. There's still emerging. There's a deep core understanding, and maybe also this is all hitting me like different because different people get married in just different timelines, right? And like, I got married when I was almost 40. You know, I got married to like my the love of my life when I was like 39. Whereas maybe, you know, some people get married when they're 22 and they have a baby right away. And it's just like a different thing. But I don't know if you've watched, but there is this spin-off show called Queen Charlotte on Netflix. It's 6 episodes. It's so freaking good. And I so relate to it. And it kind of has to do with what I'm talking about. It's just like a very beautiful love story. It's connected to Bridgerton, that show on Netflix. I loved season 1 of Bridgerton, and then I was like, you lost me. I'm sorry. Like, the mummy just took away the main characters and like, meh, meh. But this other story, it's kind of a show within itself. And it's only 6 episodes. I wish it was longer. It's so good. It's such a beautiful, deep love story, but it's also like this girl gets married and she's like married and like her family like just bounces and it's like, okay, new family. And it's like, wait, what? Like, no one prepares you for that. Like, literally no one prepares you. I'll talk about that on a different day if you want. But what I wanted to talk about is I've been going through some shit, like for real, some family shit that I feel like in a way was like, it was inevitable. It was inevitable in a sense. I never thought it would happen this way. I struggle with how it's happening. I'm struggling to process it. I have a lot of anger towards it. Anger gets stored in the liver. So I definitely need to do some liver detox because then it's slowing down my liver. But I have been heavily traumatized by my family. Now, I'm going to say this for most of my life, okay? But no. Like, what has gone on in the last 2 years is actually fucking insane, man. So to give you some context, I'm the oldest out of 4, and my mom and dad were together from age 13 to like 47. And my siblings are all from the same parents. I have one brother who's 3 years younger than me. I have a sister who's 10 years younger than me. And then I have a sister who's 18 years younger than me. And it's all from the same parents. Crazy gaps. I grew up raising my sisters, quite literally. I treated them like they were my daughters, even though I was the cool big sis. They wanted to be exactly like me. And I raised them, specifically my middle sister. I raised them teaching them everything I didn't get growing up, which was, yeah, there's a lot that comes with being an oldest child. But hold on, I want to talk about, I want to say what I want to talk about before I get into this. Today, I want to talk about how no one ever prepares you. I'm trying to think of what the word is. I'm like, pause, hold on, wait, I'm trying to process. Like, I don't even know what to call it. No one ever prepares you to realize that the family that you always thought you had doesn't really exist. And that's like hard to say. And I don't know if a lot of people understand. I feel like black sheeps do. Also, no one ever prepares you to lose and to grieve the longest relationship you've ever had in your life. Your longest relationship you've ever had in your life, which are the relationships of your parents. And sometimes we grieve through death, and like parents pass away in tragic ways. And sometimes they don't pass away, but they're no longer in your life. And no one ever prepares you for the loneliness, the sadness, and the heartache that comes with that. Yeah. And that is what I want to talk about. And that's where I'm at. And that's where my mind fuck is. And that's kind of like one of like, I have to say, I've been traumatized a lot in my life, had a lot of relationships. I've had my heart broken by a lot of people. I've been backstabbed 2 million times. I've been in shock. I've been in trauma. I've been in PTSD. I've been in all the things. But what I'm going through now is probably one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. And I'm kind of this person that just naturally like knows things. And I don't know how I know things, but I just know them. I have answers for things that I don't even know how I know, but I just know. And like, it's so accurate. And like, I don't know, God in the universe, they're just using me as a funnel to give a message. There's almost no question that you can ask me that I don't have an answer for. It's like beyond rare. I'll always have something to say. I'll always know the answer. Not because I think that I'm fucking great or I'm smart, even though I am. Gotta have that Leo cockiness. But it's because it's true. And this is the first time in my life where I have been frozen in time and space. I have been waiting for something that's not coming. And that alone has been so hard to process. I literally feel like I'm like those fucking people. Like the Titanic is sinking and they're jumping in the water and they're waiting for help and they're calling for help and they're swimming and paddling in freezing cold water, screaming for help and waiting for the help that never came. It's really fucking sad. And I've been in this place for a long time. And every time I think I've left it, I realize like I'm not. I'm still there. And it's like tragic as fuck to me. Like, what the fuck? And I can't like if you ask me why am I waiting? Why have I been waiting? Because I feel like maybe officially something unlocked where now I'm no longer waiting, but it's because I really see the best in people. I have this gift where I see people's greatest potential way beyond what they see in themselves. And then when they like don't live up to it, fuck. Like what a fucking heartache. Like what disappointment, especially people that I love. Like, fuck, why are you fucking this up? Like maybe it's that old soul within me that's just like, no, you're gonna come back again. No, don't do it. It's so hard to watch the people that you love self-sabotage the fuck out of themselves. It's so hard. It's so hard. I literally also I brought a candle here. I'm in my dining room, which is like a dining room slash office. And I brought a blanket because I needed to be cozy. I needed to feed my inner child in this conversation because I've really been struggling. Yesterday I was driving around and I fucking cried my eyes out. But it was a good cry because I feel like so emotion gets stuck in the body and then it manifests into diseases. And I've been the queen of teaching this and talking about this, and Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches and preaches this. And I've been really good at like always releasing my anger, my sadness, my betrayal, like in different ways, whether it was physical, I don't know, running, walking, shaking, jumping, screaming, cussing, talking back, writing, I don't know, writing a letter to someone, writing a long, lengthy text message, leaving a voice note, journaling, writing a letter for myself. Like I'm really good at releasing it, getting a massage, doing a detox. Like I'm really good at, but like whatever's been happening, like I just haven't been able to let it go. And it's been really devastating. And so, yes, I've been giving myself permission recently to just let it go. And I kind of want to give you guys a little bit more context because I'm kind of like starting at the end and let's go back to the beginning. Okay. My parents are no longer in my life. They're alive, but they're not in my life right now. And it's not right now. It's been like going on for a while. And it's as a child, this is like the most devastating heartache, mind fuck, betrayal, and abandonment of my fucking entire life. Like, I just, I don't want to say I can't think of anything worse, but like for reals, like this has to be one of the worst feelings on planet Earth, especially because they're alive. And that's something that I struggle with. Ah, there's so much I can say about this topic, but it's so complex. But if you're a black sheep, you know that like you're if you're a black sheep, your relationship with your parents, mostly both of them for some, like there's one that you really did not get along with, and there's another one that you kind of did it, but it's still not like 100, and that's why you're the black sheep. You're not a black sheep if you get along with both of your parents. You're not a black sheep if you get along with one and not the other. That doesn't make you, nope. Because your parents actually dictate the energy field for the entire family. So both of your parents don't get along with you to some capacity, and they're calling you like, why can't you be like your brother? Why can't you do this? You're a black sheep because the rest of the siblings are now watching, and they're being programmed to believe similar things to you. Okay, so I'm gonna do a backwards situation. So growing up, I didn't actually get along with neither one of my parents, and I'm like, isn't that crazy that that never changed? Now you can work on things. There's just things that are like part of your soul contracts and things that are not. But it's like growing up, I didn't even know my dad. He was always working. Whenever he was around, I'd fight with him. It was always fighting and screaming. Everyone always says I'm most like my dad. My dad is a strong personality. I'm actually not like him. Maybe that's a story for a different day. But there's like scientific proof that I'm not. But growing up for many years, it was me, my mom, and my brother and dad. Before my other sisters were born, because they're like 10 years and 18 years younger than me. So for 10 years, my brother was like my mom, I was like my dad, and I would butt head with my dad. And my dad was like just, it's like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but like my dad just like wasn't gentle. He didn't know how to be a dad, I guess. Like it makes me sad to say that, but like he just like didn't, I don't think that he understood the role, the job, like there's a role and there's a job. And it's just like, I think back then it's like, make the dad makes the money. And you know what I mean? Like that's it. And the mom, like, I don't know, cooks and cleans and takes care of the kids. And I think also, like, as I say that out loud, there's an ongoing theme with my parents' generation, which are like the 60s. And I see this pattern ongoing with my friends' parents, where the 60s parents that were born in the 60s, they were taught to just do physical shit. Like, you're the man, make the money. You're the mom, you raise the children, you clean and you cook. And that's what family is. And no one actually taught them like emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. That wasn't part of the job. No one discussed it. And so and I see this a lot in the millennial kids. I see this with my friends where there is the millennials, like we're like the healers. We're like the Tony Robbins era, right? Like the Gary V era. Like we're like trying to figure out our fucking life. Like we're deep. We want to show our kids the love that we didn't have growing up. And it's not that my parents were bad. They just thought that love and affection was only shown through physical gestures. What is that called? Like love language. Like, what is it? Gestures. What is the word? Like kind gestures. Like, what is it? Like physical gestures. That's what my parents think love is. That's their love language. I forget what the terminology is, but who cares? I think you get the point. What does that look like? It looks like anything that's material and physical. So lavishing birthday parties, lots of, I don't know, my mom would just go over the top. She would cook. She would make so much food, so much cakes, crazy presents, but like no emotional love, no deep talks, no hugs, no I love yous. Not because my dad was the same way, not because they're bad. They just like weren't taught, but like that's what I really needed. I was like an overly sensitive, emotional child, and that's what I needed. I think like obviously it's nice to get the birthday presents and the over the top trips. And like it's just how they show that they love me. But like, it was just like, no, I don't need that. Like, that's fun, but like, I just want my parents to tell me that they love me. I just want my parents to tell me that they're proud of me. I just want my parents to stop fucking telling me, why can I be like my fucking brother? Like, I just want to have conversations. I just want to get to know them. My biggest fear for endless years was that my dad was going to die and I wouldn't know who he is because I knew nothing about my dad. I knew nothing. When I say nothing, I'm talking about to like fucking age 18, if not more. I didn't know anything about my dad. I knew that like we had no conversations. My dad would talk to like my boyfriends more than he would talk to me. Like my dad, like he just, it was like, how's school? Good. How's work? Good. Okay, bye. Like done. And then it was or that or like screaming and fighting. And it was just always screaming and fighting. Like since I was a kid, it's just me and my dad screaming and fighting. And my mom, so my dad, I'm going to be honest, he has a very narcissistic personality type. He creates a lot of chaos. He's a big self-sabotager. He also has a heart of gold. He's really generous, but he's also like bipolar. And he has two extreme personality types, and you just are always walking on eggshells and you never know what the fuck you're gonna get. And it's really hard to live with someone like that. Like you don't know if you pick up the phone or he picks you up or you're gonna see him. You never know what version of him you're gonna get. Are you gonna get the funny, silly, generous, loving guy? Or are you going to get a complete narcissistic psychopath, revengeful, arrogant, manipulative, like psycho fucker, like just psycho, like zero boundaries, like nothing's off the table. Like you never know how bad things will get. Like things can get really, really bad. You just never know. You know, you're never going to know what version of him you're going to get. It's really hard to grow up with a dad like that. You can just not pick up the phone and it's like, why didn't you answer the phone? It's just like psycho and it's like so over the top. When you're just like bubbly, like on the beach, like, whoa, like what? Like, it's crazy. And then that's my dad. And then I have my mom, who everyone thinks is amazing and is really great at making everyone around her feel amazing. Unfortunately, except for her kids or except for me. I don't know how the fuck you want to look at it. My mom is a people pleaser. Both of my parents don't know how to communicate at all. The communication is like or screaming or nothing. It's the craziest shit. It's or there's just absolute madness, chaos, and screaming, or there's just avoidance and pretend and fake shit. Now, if you know anything about me, maybe this gives you a little like, aha, whoa, now I kind of get why she is the way that she is. And can you imagine how who I am triggers the fuck out of this family dynamic? Right? Because I don't like fake shit. I don't like avoidance. And the screaming just never solves anything. So I don't even fit into this mold. I grew up having an emotionally unavailable mom. My mom just doesn't know how to regulate that. Like she doesn't. I don't want to say that she wasn't given the tools because that's bullshit and that's a cop out and it's a choice. But my mom is a type of a character that just avoids everything at any cost. And she loves to do pretend. And there's nothing I hate more than pretend. It just like triggers the fuck out of me. So essentially growing up, I fought with my dad and I fucking hated him. But then I was also scared that one day he'll die and I won't know anything about him. And my mom was a character that I just could not get along with. I just couldn't understand her. She could never understand me. So the only way I would talk to my mom is through my grandma, my mom's mom, who passed away when I was 15. And I only realized this like literally this week that the moment my grandma passed away, everything changed between me and my mom. I didn't even realize it. But basically what would happen is I just wouldn't get along with my mom. I couldn't talk to her. She couldn't talk to me. I couldn't talk to her. Well, guess what? My grandma was this beautiful, like medium piece that would just, I would call my grandma. My grandma, I would tell her what happened. She would understand it. She would deliver the message to my mom in a way where my mom understands, because if I try to tell my mom wouldn't understand. And then eventually my mom would talk back to my grandma. My grandma would understand where my mom's coming from. She'd deliver a message to me. There'd become some sort of a promise. And then it's like, okay, that's how it was done for endless years. My grandma was my best friend because she was the only one who got me. And when she passed, my world died and everything completely changed. But the reason why I'm having this conversation is because, unfortunately, a lot of that didn't change. And I felt really lonely growing up. I was always told, why can't I be like my brother? Why can't I do this? Why do I have to do everything to get attention? It's like my parents just couldn't understand this child called me that was very intuitive and had a lot of feeling, was very sensitive. I think I was a special child and a special gift, and like they just didn't understand it because they're unfortunately like really practical, and I'm super spiritual, and I'm like really open-minded, and they're really judgmental. And no, I'm saying this again. This is not to punk my parents or some shit and talk shit. I'm saying this because if you're on the other side, I just don't want you to feel alone. This is not about me being amazing or fucking great. It's like here's the thing. The fact that I have to say that, why I feel the need to over explain things just in general and get really deep on them, is because I grew up being highly misunderstood by my family. And everything I had to like explain my intention, explain what I'm doing, try to communicate it in 2 billion ways where the message was still never perceived or understood. And so throughout the years, what ended up happening was I did end up getting closer with my dad. I did. But it just always felt like that thing. It just felt like unstable, unsafe, walking on eggshells, because you never know when he's gonna fucking flip out on you and just be crazy because somebody made him mad. Like he just is the type of person that takes his anger out on you from other things. My mom is very similar, like in mine and hers dynamic. Like I don't want to like fully say everything. I feel a little bit more sensitive about her in this way, but like she's also the type of person where you have to walk on eggshells, and it's because we're two completely different people. And one of the realizations, so I've been doing a lot of healing about all of this because my parents are no longer in my life. And I've been sitting for a long time trying to figure out what the fuck, like what the fuck. My dad walked out of my life, we'll call it that, a year and a half ago, sorry, excuse me, 2 years ago in April, where he decided to not attend my wedding. Psycho, completely psycho. Where I thought I was going to get the cool, amazing, generous, amazing, funny, bubbly dad, and instead I got the narcissistic, crazy psychopath that just said that he was going to give me a black wedding, and uninvited 10 people and more people actually for my wedding. People that had flights, people that had hotels. He threatened them if they come to my wedding, blah, 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 blah. He did malicious ass shit. And it's devastating because, gosh, it's so fucked up. Like, what in the fuck? Like, life is so weird. Okay, a couple of things. It's really hard as a black sheep, as an old soul. It's really hard when, even though you're your parents' child, they're actually your children. I don't know how, if you're gonna get it, but like, I feel like I'm my parents' child. Sorry. I feel like I am my parents' parent for years. And it's because I'm an older soul than them. But like, fuck, like, god damn it, like, grow up. Like, it's really hard as a child, no matter how old you are, no matter how old your parents are, where you're like, how do you still, you don't get it. You don't get the rules here on planet Earth. Like, how? How have you not learned this lesson? I'll give you the fuck, you want to give me the answers? I'll give you the answers. Like, nope, they don't want the answers. They just want to keep self-sabotaging. Like, fuck. Ah, well, My dad could have made a lot of different choices, and he chose to self-sabotage, which is something he does often. He doesn't learn. And unfortunately, it came at the cost of myself and my wedding. And I haven't talked to him in 2 years. And I just felt like I just couldn't keep doing this to myself. My dad, for many years, just betrayed me an infinite amount of times. Abandonment and betrayal. He always chooses other people over me, over his children. I have fought for this for so many years, for decades, for fucking decades, multiple decades. I've tried to teach my dad to choose his children above all. He doesn't care. He'll choose his friends, he'll choose his girlfriends, he'll choose people who talk to him like shit, he'll choose people that take advantage of him, steal money from him. Like, he'll choose them over his children. That's a hard pill for me to swallow. And I tried. I have so much wisdom. I tried to give perspective, and I have fought the many battles, not even for myself, most of them for my little sisters. And a lot of battles I've lost. I've won some of them. It took me a long time to make my dad understand that his children come first. His children come first. I used to repeat that to him so many times because nobody else was telling him that. My dad's very intimidating. People are very scared to tell him the truth. I'm not intimidated by him. I tell him all the truth. Sometimes he didn't like hearing it, but he would storm off like a child, stomp his feet, slam doors, not talk to me, and then a few days later be like, you know what, you're right. Wouldn't necessarily say directly like that, but his actions did. But I'm so sick of trying to tell my dad to choose his children over strangers. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know how I'm even having this conversation, but that's why my dad didn't come to my wedding. He chose a stranger over his daughter, and then completely self-sabotaged when it didn't go his way at the cost of his daughter, at the cost of me, the person who's known him for 40 years. And I just, it's like, I told him, like, if you choose this, it's up to you what you choose. But if this is what you choose, like, there's no turning back, because I am so sick of having a parent that makes me feel not worthy of love. Like, it's such a betrayal to the soul. But unfortunately, my dad didn't choose me. He chose a stranger over me. And that sucked. And it was hard. It was so fucking hard for me to like swallow that pill. Like, after 40 years almost of trying to like prove my worthiness, trying to like make him choose his own children, it's just like, when does it end? I don't want to keep living this cycle. Like, it's like at the time I'm like, I'm about to start a new chapter of my life, about to get married. I want to be a mom. I don't want my children to see like what grandpa's doing. I didn't like it, it couldn't. And then I have my mom, which we have the most strangest relationship. We just bump heads. And here's one of the things that I've learned in recent times. And I thought this is actually really deep. And it's actually healing. This is some of the things that I've learned. I'm trying to think of like how to even say this, but right now I'm not talking to my dad. And then since I got married, it felt like my family's like, okay, you're married, you're no longer a problem, bye. And that manifested into different things. And it looked like my mom, so I'm not talking to my dad. And then my mom, for the last year and a half, has just been this, I don't know, tumbleweed blowing in the wind. It's like, since right after I got married, she was like not talking to me for like months. No explanation. Not answering the phone. Like, absurd, bizarre. She's an avoidant personality type. And she likes to pretend like everything's okay. And then after many months, we talked and I felt like things were good. And then all of a sudden she like vanished again. And then she came back again. And she plays these games with me that I don't, my brain can't understand. I feel like I can just talk forever about my complex relationship with my parents, but it's just there is an ongoing pattern with each and every single one of them. And it takes two people to work on a relationship. It can't be just one. It can't be just one desiring a better relationship and the other one just doesn't. And so this year on my birthday, my mom reminded me again, it's the same fucking pattern. It's the same fucking pattern on repeat my entire life. That she's always gonna choose strangers over me. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's literally the same thing like my dad. It's actually crazy. I'm like actually realizing that it's actually the same thing, just different. Because they're both people pleasers. And I'm not. I'm not. It's because I've watched them and I was like, red flag. No, but like my mom will always just do more for strangers than her daughter. And she just always doesn't understand what I want from her. And I want a hug. And I want like quality time. And I want like one on one. And I want intimacy. And I want deep conversation. And she's just not available for that. That's number one. But number two, she's just more willing to do things for strangers than she is willing to do for me. I'm not going to talk about my siblings. So there was a huge traumatic event that happened around my birthday where my mom completely like just shattered me to pieces and traumatized me. I'm always this punching bag because everyone always thinks that like I'm tough so I can handle everything. So people in my family just expect me to just handle everything. And the craziest thing is I actually think that I'm more sensitive than all of them, but I had to learn to be tough. I had to learn to protect Khofit. So I became Kim Cohen because nobody ever protected her. And that's the truth. And there's a lot of inner child work that went into that, but no one ever protected me. My parents never protected me. My parents never had my back. It's no wonder my root chakra is always the weakest. No one's ever been my protector. My first protector is my husband. He's the first person who's ever protected me and stood up for me. No one ever stands up for me. My parents don't have my back. They don't protect me. They don't stand up for me in rooms where I'm not in. They don't. They just will watch people talk shit about me and like be okay with it. It's pretty fucked up. That wasn't the point of the podcast episode, but what I'm here to talk about is so my mom keeps doing this roller coaster in and out. She's in my life, she's not in my life. Now I'm in a situation where my whole family is not talking to me, or I'm not, whatever the heck you want. They're not talking to me, I'm not talking to them. And except for my brother. I talk to my brother. Not good. Love him. You know why I talk to my brother? He's the only one who's willing to do the work. He's the only one that throughout the years actually became a better human being and worked on our relationship and became better while everyone else stood still and just never cared to fucking have a better relationship. Like, I don't understand people. These are my like my people, my parents, like my siblings, like what the fuck? So I don't know. It's too much to fill in the entire story, obviously, right? But like I guess, I don't know, I guess it's January. I haven't talked to my dad now in almost 2 years. 2 years is gonna be April. He's actually wanted to talk to me. And at first, he wanted to talk to me around August. And my first instinct was to be like, I want to hear what he has to say. And I don't know where I heard this, but I don't know. But it was really good advice. And it was about boundaries. And it was like, okay, we're not talking to him to hear what he has to say because then the roles are, you're putting him in power. When you're like, hey, what did you want to tell me? And the truth is that he lost the opportunity to be in that seat. He did. It kind of fucks up the dynamic of like who's leading the relationship and why there is like this ongoing cycle. And so the advice that I was given, I think it was like by a mentor or something, but like the advice that I was given was first to sit down with myself and figure out what kind of relationships I want to have. What kind of a relationship do I want to have with my dad? To write it down, to set boundaries, to write rules, to figure out with myself first the type of relationship I want to have with him moving forward, and then call him. Not with what, like, not with and you do it to protect yourself. That's the whole thing. You do it to create boundaries and you do it to protect yourself. But if I call him, like wanting to like, what does he have to say to me? It puts him in a place of power where he gets to control it. He gets to manipulate. He gets to say, I'm sorry. Like, right. And I'm just like deer in a headlight. I tend to be very compassionate and very forgiving, sometimes too forgiving because I love so hard, but then the lesson never gets learned. And the cycle keeps repeating itself and the cycle does not break and there's no breakthrough that happens. And so my parents are not willing to change. They're like, okay, we're old. We're never going to change. That's always their excuse. But that's been an excuse for like decades. But it's like, I need to sit with myself and redefine the type of relationship I want to have with him. And I haven't done that because when he wanted to do that, it just wasn't the right time for me in my life. I had way too many things going on. And that was part of it. It was like I always chose my dad first, but he never chose me first. He never chose me first. And when he wanted to speak to me, I would have loved to, like naturally as me, I would love to just run up to him and be like, let's figure this out. Let's work. But then I would have like no self-integrity for myself. Like I know that there's like a soul-based place in there. But at the same time, I'm just like not being in integrity for myself. I was going through a lot of things. Like I was like, we're living in hotels. We didn't know where we're living. Peanut was sick. Dave Ben was going through things. I was going through PTSD. And in a normal world, I would have just called my dad. But I was like, no, I come first now. Ben comes first. I will not continuously, and that's healing. Even though it's hard. I can't continuously put someone, because this is the truth. This is what I would do with a friend. And it's true. Like go to a therapist, go to a life coach. Like they will tell you the same thing, right? It's like, you can't continuously put someone in first place that's not prioritizing it. You can't prioritize someone and put them at like first place when they're constantly putting you at like fifth place, seventh place, you know? And it's like when someone's showing you like how they're choosing to, I don't know, have a relationship with you, what you mean to them, even if it's your own parents, like, and you try and you try and you try to change it and you're like fighting, you're just fighting because you're blind to like reality and the shit's never gonna fucking change. And I had to stop myself and be like, nope, my family comes first. My new family comes first. And then I can sit and do this boundary thing with my dad. I still have not done that. Now, on the flip side, my mom hasn't been talking to me because she actually doesn't want to talk to me. And I've never gone this long without talking to my mom. And it just feels like the worst thing ever. It feels like the worst thing ever. In a perfect world, my mom would just love for me to call her. This is exactly what she wants. We both know it's not going to happen. She would just love for me to call her and pretend like nothing happened. And just pretend like what's in the past is in the past. Just is doing everything in her power to avoid me because I'm a mirror. I don't allow people to cop out, to pretend, to fake it, to not face their shit. I just put a mirror in their fucking face and I'm like, hey, we need to figure this out. And my mom is just the biggest avoider. She will do everything in her power to avoid things. And so that just makes her feel like so uncomfortable. She doesn't see the good in it. She doesn't understand that like talking about things, working them out, like figuring out a game plan, trying to figure out how to do better in the future timeline, trying to break the pattern. Like she doesn't understand that that's like for the better good. She just thinks, I really don't know at this point. But I'm at a point where this last 2 years has been the hardest of my life. And the two most dominant figures have just not been there. My mom was there for my wedding planning stuff. She was great. She was there to hear me, to support me. And I'll never forget that. Whatever is hers is hers. Like she was at my wedding. She walked me down the aisle. She didn't plan my wedding, even though she is a wedding planner. I planned everything, but she loves all wedding planning, event planning, colors, flowers, all the things, like creativity. It's like one of the only It's one of the only things that we have in common is creativity. Um, and one thing we could talk about forever. But essentially, in the last 2 years, I've just gone through like some serious shamanic death. Like, I just went through some fucking hell in the last 2 years. And my parents, except for the wedding with my mom, like, my mom for a year and a half, like, nowhere to be found. It's hold on. I don't want to take this away from her, but there was a spirit timeline in April where she was there and during my wedding, and then the rest of it just completely MIA. So it's like I went through the hardest timeline of my life and my parents weren't there. They were gone. And that's a hard thing to process. Just going through like the worst of it in your life and just not having your parents there. So it's like my dad's not in my life because he betrayed me repeatedly and endlessly and tore my heart into millions of pieces and just for endless years, decades, chose strangers over his family, his original family. Even though my parents haven't been together in 15 years, even before that, he just never chose me. And I'm just so sick of not, like, that's not right. It's just not. A parent, like a child is forever a child, no matter how old the parent is. A parent should always be a parent, no matter how old the child is. And a parent should always choose their child. That's like safety, that's stability, that's root chakra, that's fucking biblical, that's like humanity, that's like the animal kingdom. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know why I even have to say that or teach that to fucking anyone. Like, you can be a fucking child and just know that. Like, watch a fucking movie. Like, look at like Africa, look at like fucking animals in the wild. Like, it's obscene. So it's like, I just got tired and exhausted and of just being betrayed by my dad and abandoned by him like an infinite amount of times, but like really betrayed. I just couldn't make him understand that his children come first. I fought so many battles trying to teach him this. And unfortunately, it's his insecurities and his self-sabotage that just won't allow him to see it. And I just got tired of dealing with like the backlash of like his Dracarys self-sabotage. Dracarys, that's like in Games of Thrones, like the crazy dragons, they like shoot fucking fires out of their mouth and burn villages. Like that's what my dad does. Yeah, it's terrible. And with my mom, it's so hard to have a relationship with someone who doesn't really participate in the relationship. Like they just, I don't know. It's hard to have a relationship with someone where you want it more than them and you're willing to do what's required for that relationship and they're not. And you want to constantly strengthen the relationship and make it better and they're not. And you're willing to do whatever it takes and they're not. And it's this thing where it's like it's like impossible. It's impossible to sustain a relationship that one party just doesn't like fucking, I don't know, isn't a part of. My mom has been avoiding me for like a half a year consecutively. I really struggle. Fucking struggle, man. The only types of conversations my mom wants to have with me are practical conversation. I struggle. I'm a really deep fucking human being. I'm a really like deep, like give me like a fucking dark restaurant with candle lights and like just intimacy with one person and no time exists and just let us just fucking talk about anything and everything underneath the sun for like thousands of hours. Like that just feeds my fucking soul. I'm just an intimacy kind of a person and I want deep. I want real fucking deep. I want FBI deep. I want like some Mossad deep, like some fucking, I don't know, mystery unsolved 20 seasons deep. Okay. Like conspiracy theories deep. Like mastery deep. Like, just give it to me. And my mom is just super practical. And so the only types of conversations that I can have are about superficial stuff, celebrity gossip, friendship gossip, people we know gossip, some creative stuff, random good movie that we like stuff, nostalgic stuff. That's it. End of story. My mom won't have like energy to talk to me about like, you know, our fight or what happened or like what happened on my birthday, but she wants to talk to me about a stranger we both don't know killing himself. My mom doesn't care to see my new house or care to ask questions about where I live after being kind of like homeless for like fucking half a year, 4.5 months. But she'll want to talk to me about Britney Spears. Like I I can't. Like I'm just not made for that. Do you understand? Like I can't. It's just there's such a lack of depth and it's an avoidant thing. And I get it, not everyone's deep. Like, okay, that's cool. But I mean, I don't need you to be deep. I just need you to be emotionally available. I need you to be a parent. I need you to talk. Like, you're supposed to be the example. I'm not supposed to be the leader. I'm not your mom. Like, you're supposed to be my mom. Like, it just, uh, I can't understand. So, what's been happening the last, like, since August, I have so much anger towards my family, all of my family, except for my brother. I have rage, just rage. So, since my birthday, my mom and sister didn't call me to wish me happy birthday. My mom didn't want to make me a birthday cake, even though she makes cakes for a living. And even though I was going through a really dark time of my life. A week after my birthday, I ended up, I mean, the night, because of just all of it, it's like I started to have crazy panic attacks where it was fucking with my blood sugar and my insulin levels. At the end of my birthday, I was passed out because of it. I never used to have issues like this. It was just trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. After a week and a half of going through that, probably like 10 days, yeah, I ended up having a really traumatic experience at the park MGM Italy in Las Vegas where I don't even know how to explain to you guys what happened. Like, yeah, I'm like pausing and trying to process it, but because of like the endless trauma that I was dealing with, I don't know, I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was having a heart attack. It was way worse than a panic attack, whatever the fuck that is. I started to get lightheaded and I thought I was gonna like I like really remember it, but I don't even know. It was one of the most horrible, horrific moments of my life. Like I was in a packed as fuck restaurant. I was waiting to eat. My insulin levels were crazy. I was having multiple panic attacks a day. I was waiting for our food. It was so loud. It was so overwhelming. And all of a sudden I started to get dizzy and lightheaded and I thought I was gonna like pass out and die. I'm not kidding. I don't even know how to express all of this. I don't even know how to explain it to you. I still don't know what happened to me. A lot happened to me. I passed out. I blacked out. I don't know what the fuck. Security came. I was on a wheelchair. Literally 20, not 20, 12 paramedics around me. Literally almost shot myself. I'm not even fucking kidding. I was screaming. I was crying. I couldn't even, I thought I was going to throw up. I was dizzy. Everything was spinning. My heart was beating out of its chest. I like my legs were buzzing. My arms were buzzing. It was psycho. I literally had to have Ben walk me into the girls' bathroom while there's paramedics and an ambulance. And like, it was just the most traumatic like scene. Like, it was so crazy, super overwhelming for me. I ended up, I don't know, being taken to an ambulance. Everyone was staring at me. Everyone was taking pictures of me. I was taken on a wheelchair. I was having, I don't know, they were pricking me with things. Like, I don't even know what the fuck, you guys. It was so traumatic when they were wheelchairing me. I kept having them stop because I thought I was going to throw up or shit my pants or like die. Like, it almost reminded me of something that kind of happened to me when I was going through like my miscarriage and I had like an allergic reaction to like the medicine. It was terrible. Um, we were in Vegas too. The dogs were in the room by themselves. Like we just thought we are going to dinner real quick. Like we didn't even know where the fuck we are. They really let Ben into an ambulance. They were asking me questions. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. I can't even talk. I didn't even know my fucking name. I like lost it. Lost it. I got to on the way, I was like, tell my family, Ben. Do you know how much my family cared? A fucking 0 out of 1,000. Do you know how hard that is for me to process? My family cared zero. That was additionally traumatizing above all that was already happening. And part of this was happening because of like the trauma that I had with my mom in LA over this fucking birthday cake thing. And my family couldn't check up on me and no one cared. And Ben tried calling them like so many times and they were just careless, numb, not reactive, not responding. No one's like, and then the next day, like, what's the big deal? You didn't die. If it was serious, we would have known. Like, why are you even calling us in an ambulance? Like, once you've spoken to the doctor, this is my mom. Once you've spoken to the doctor and you know the diagnosis, then tell us. Why are you telling us now? It's so insensitive. It's actually fucking psycho. It's actually fucking psycho. I literally like just wanted to die. Like I couldn't even process like what I was reading and what was happening. It was just so like we don't fucking care. Like my brain couldn't. I still to this moment I see that girl like she's so scared. I was so scared. I literally thought I was gonna fucking die, you guys. I thought tonight I'm having an aneurysm or a heart attack or a stroke. Like it makes me want to cry. Like my family doesn't care. My sister didn't care. My mom didn't care. Like other people didn't care. It's just so there was that. No one cared. No one reached out. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. What a betray. Like I can't. I can't. I literally I can't. It's just trauma. Like I can't. I knew after that everything needed to change, but like change it was just wasn't available. I started to change the day after that. Like I had to change life because it was just not working out. But and I actually I do want to say this. Well, the next day I couldn't function. I was petrified to leave the hotel room. After so many times, I was petrified I was gonna have like a panic attack. I was gonna faint in public. Something was like I literally thought the worst was gonna happen to me. Like I literally thought I was gonna die. I'm not kidding. I was petrified. I couldn't leave my hotel room. We were staying in New York at the time, after living in Vegas for like 2 weeks. And I decided I have to change my life. And I bought tickets to Monation. And it changed my life. It was like 2 days later and it changed my life. It was like so healing. Monet is so healing. It changed my life. But I'm going to continue on over the next couple of months. So that was August. That was like middle of August, yeah. Until now. So it's 5 months, 4.5 months. So much has happened. My sister got engaged. No one told me. My mom got into an accident. No one told me. My mom flew to Israel during rockets. No one told me. I moved into a house. My mom didn't even see it. Doesn't even care. There were more things that happen, and every time it happens, I just get a heart attack. And you know how I find out about things from strangers? That's my fucking favorite. Finding out my mom's in the ER because she got into a severe accident from strangers. Not from my family, from strangers. Finding out my sister is engaged because one of my friends told me. Like, what? Like, it's crazy. And the craziest thing too is that they know that I want to know the most, so they just like deprive me of that intentionally. Like to be mean and evil and shit. Like, I swear. I've been trying to talk to my mom for months now. She's avoiding me. She won't talk to me. I've left voice notes. I've called. I've written letters. She's ignoring me. And in my last one, I said, if I don't hear, this was in December, if I don't hear back from you in a day or two, I'm just gonna assume that you just don't want to have a relationship with me. I left her like two or three long voice notes. They were probably half an hour long, just expressing and explaining things and how there's so much suppressed shit and how nothing's ever getting solved because she's avoidant and my sisters are avoidant and everyone in my family's avoidant and no one wants to own their shit. Everyone wants to play pretend. And I'm just like, I'm not into that. Of course, she didn't listen to my voice notes for like a few weeks. And when she did, she didn't respond. And I was the fucking dumb fuck who just sat and waited. I waited for my mom for weeks. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to talk to her. I've been waiting for her to pick up the phone. She's written me, I'm so busy. This is her thing. I'm so busy. I can't answer now. And she never gets, she's like, I'll call you tomorrow. She never calls me. She told me she's going to call me during Hanukkah. She never did. That's psycho. That's like beginning of December-ish. Beginning, middle. It's almost February. And I've been like dying inside. My mom won't talk to me. And time again, she's proving to me that she doesn't actually want a relationship with me. And to be honest, after what happened in August with my birthday cake situation, which is, I am not even going to get into it, and them not calling, my mom not calling me on my birthday. My mom didn't wish me happy birthday till the next day. Like, what? My mom and my sister scheduled to move into a house, an apartment, whatever, like on my birthday. Like, that's how no one gives a fuck that I exist on my family. And I really can go on, and I know that there's two sides to every story, but the truth of the matter is that no one's willing to talk to me about it. No one's willing to fix it. No one's willing to talk. Like, it's insane. I, for months now and weeks now, I've been like in this pending waiting phase, waiting for my parents to change, waiting to fucking have them wake up, my family, my parents, like, wake the fuck up. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, grow up, like, be a parent. Like, why am I parenting? Why am I reaching out to my mom? Like, isn't the oldest supposed, like, the parent supposed to be the example? Why am I teaching my father to choose his children first? Like, isn't that like, what the fuck? Am I his parent? Why am I telling him that? Why do I have to teach that to him? Why do I have to beg my mom to care, like, that her daughter's in the hospital? Like, what the fuck? Like, why am I trying to fix my relationship with my mom when she's showing me like zero interest? Like, and I kept sitting and waiting for them, giving them another chance, and another chance, trying to see the good in them. I'm talking about my mom, I guess, like, trying to see the good in her, believing in her more than, like, I don't know, she deserves credit for. Like, it's fucked up to say. Like, my mom deserves all the credit. She raised me. She gave me everything. Like, I get it. I totally do. But like, what the fuck? So here's a few things that I've realized recently is, number one, I'm tired of being my parents' parent. I don't want that job. What the fuck? Why? I've had to parent my parent for many years. I don't want that job. I didn't choose it. They kind of chose it for me. They always forced me to be responsible, and I'm the oldest, and I'm this, and I'm this, and I'm that. I've had to like create peace between them throughout the years, especially the years that they divorced. When they were divorcing, I had to be the parent for my siblings and also my parent. I had to remind them constantly to think about their children as though I'm not a child. I think that there's so many things that I can say, but I think it's hard to process that your parents are just people trying to figure it out. But even with that, they should still know better than you. Like, I just, like, my parents were 20 years older than me. Like, how do I know more? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't, like, just, what? Like, I can't. I'm in this phase where we want to expand our family, and I'm grieving the family that I never had, and that's hard. Okay, like, I'm grieving the fact that my family is actually, that I've been blind for 40 years, and my family is not what I thought it is. And I want to say this, I am the most family orientedest person ever. I have always been the family glue. I always know how to fix things. I know how to I'm constantly used as a tool for communication because no one knows how to communicate but me. And I worked really hard on teaching myself how to communicate. That's why I over communicate. And this is a very raw and honest, this whole conversation that we're having right now, but like, it's the truth. I value family more than most. I was the kid who just wanted to be at home with my family. I didn't want to go out with my friends. It was like, want to go to the club or want to go hang out with your baby sis. I was the kid that like the 20-year-old, the 18-year-old who would drive like an hour to go see her baby sister every single day because she was obsessed with her. Like that was me. I've always been extremely family oriented. I was born that way. I always knew family comes first. I don't know why the rest of my family members didn't get the memo. Why, quite literally, my parents choose strangers over family. My siblings for many years, I don't know how it is now, but my brother and sister used to choose friends over family. Like, I just don't understand what the fuck. But it hurts the most because I am the most family orientedest person in the family. And I actually just understand the value of family. It hurts me because I want to get pregnant, but I don't want to get pregnant like this. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really don't. I never wanted to get pregnant like this without my family in my life. Like, that's devastating as fuck to me. I don't want to pass the sadness to my children, the grief. I'm grieving the fact that my family is never going to be the family that I needed and needed, desired, wanted, or thought that I had. I think a lot of times I made myself believe that people cared more than they actually did. People loved me more than they actually did. People chose me more than they actually like. It's really hard for me to like actually zoom out and realize that this is not. I get really attached to a younger version of us when we were all like great. Like I have this gift where I just see the good in people. I'm very compassionate, empathetic, and I always see the good in people, and I hold on to like photographical memories of a timeline when they were great. So I have this image in my brain of my baby sister who I used to love. Like I can't with her. She's just like a copy paste of my mom. But I hold on to an image of baby sis, and I literally still call her baby sis even though she's 22. And I like don't realize that she's not that little girl anymore. I hold on to a younger version of my middle sis. I hold on to like memories of when she was a teenager or an 8-year-old, and I used to take her to Malibu and teach her about manifestation and be her mentor and her coach and teach her about life and wisdom and how to just always stand up for what's right. I hold on to that version of her. That's who she is to me forever. Baby sis, baby Almog, like that's my other sister, but my baby sis, like I hold on. She was a pure fucking angel when she was a baby. She's not that person anymore. And I'm so attached to that version of them that's so pure, and they're not that version, and that fucking kills me. It makes me so sad. I like literally mourn the fact, I mourn constantly that they're not that anymore. I've been mourning that. I've been mourning the fact that I'm never gonna have a dad who's gonna choose me first. He's just never gonna do it. That's so devastating to me. I mourn the fact that I'm never gonna have the mom that I've always wanted to have. That other people get to have that. I don't get to have that. Other people get to have, daughter and father dance at their wedding. Like, I don't get to have that. I don't get to have a dad that chooses me. I don't get to have a mom that sees my greatness. My mom never understood me. That's one of the biggest heartaches of my life. My mom just never understood me, ever. Still doesn't. That's such a hard pill for me to swallow. She's known me for 40 years and she doesn't get me. She just doesn't get me. She never has and she never will. I remember when I was a kid, I used to always listen to Pink's Misunderstood. I'm a hazard to myself. So that CD that she had. I used to listen to my little CD player when I was a teenager. I was 14. That song would come out. Misunderstood. I would play it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I just felt like, fuck. It's like, Nope, nothing's ever changed. Isn't that wild? I'm literally been mourning the fact that my mom is just not gonna care as much as me about anything. And I'm not gonna have this is so hard for me to conceptualize that I don't have a mom to go to when things are hard. I don't have a parent like that. I don't have a parent to run to when things are hard. I have no one. Like I have my husband. I always have to be the tough one. I have no parent to run to. I get doors slammed in my face. When times are hard, it's like, whoop, door slammed in your face. Times are a little, let me make it a little harder on you. Oh, you need me? Let me become the most unavailable person ever. Oh, this is the worst time of your life. Let me just make it a little bit worse. It's my sarcasm and my grief and anger manifesting into words. But I never wanted to get pregnant like this. And I've been literally waiting to get pregnant. And I don't want to get pregnant like this. I don't want to fucking get pregnant and have a child grow in a body with sadness like that. Like, I feel so fucking betrayed by my family and my parents. And it's something that only like a black sheep like truly fucking gets on like a deep level. Like the wars that you fought to be seen. I'm never going to be seen by my family. It's just never going to happen for me. And it's like, these are things that have been brewing in the background for a long time. But in most recent times, it's like they're being forced to come to the surface. And I don't want, it's like, I don't want this. The universe is choosing this. God's choosing this. I'm not choosing this. It's fucking terrible. So here are some things that I've learned additionally to the things that I mentioned. Something that made me feel better, and this is in all honesty, and you can do this with yourself too. But in the real world, here's the truth. In the real world, I'm gonna put my dad aside for a second, because I actually didn't do this on my dad, but I actually did this on my mom and my sisters. And the truth, and it's brutal and it's raw, but it puts things in perspective. The truth is, in the real world, I would never be their friend. It's deep, it's sad, and it's true. If my mom was not my mom and my sisters weren't my sisters, I would never be their friends. For an infinite amount of reasons. Do they have a good heart? Yeah. Do they have a good soul? Yeah. I can't be friends though with people who aren't proactively trying to become better constantly. Like my circle of friends, my people, my closest friends, my husband, the people that I surround myself with, intentionally, selectively, purposefully, I only hang out with people that are always trying to become better. I hang around only people who are trying to become healthier, make more money, grow their businesses, like grow a family, become like better with their mindset, work on their spirituality, work on their like money blocks, work on their like mindset, like figure out how to be more consciously elevated, raise their vibrational frequency. Like, I cannot be your friend if you're not proactively doing that shit. If that doesn't interest you, like I have nothing to say to you. You know, I hang around people that are open-minded, that are deep, that are like full of curiosity and wonder, that are like so curious about life here on earth and what's actually true and what's not. My family doesn't care what's true. They don't care what's true. They care what they're being fed. They don't care what's real. Who cares? They don't care about like what's killing them. Who cares? They don't care that that food's poison. Who cares? Like, they don't care about working things out. It's better to avoid and to fake it. It's better to pretend. I just couldn't be friends with people like that. And it's not a diss at them. Like, there are people like you can be one of these people and it's fine. But like, something that really has been an epiphany thing for me is realizing that I would never be friends with my mom. I couldn't be friends with someone who is just so avoidant and never willing to work on themselves. My sister's the same thing. My other sister, kind of the same thing, different. She works on herself, but not. I have been doing a lot of different exercises to release trauma from my body. certain stretches and stuff, and I want to do more things before I get pregnant. I want to do like a fascia massage, and I want to do a few lymphatic drainage massages. And I also want to say that like I've gained weight, and one of the reasons why I can't like why not I can't like why I haven't like lost it is because my body is still in the state of shock over everything that has happened with my family. Just feeling so unprotected from that place is just gnarly to me. It's just been like I can't process this level of betrayal from my family. And I've just been in this weird phase of my life where I can't explain it. I don't know. I always know the answers to everything, and I don't know the answer for this. I can't see clearly. I don't get it. My family, they're not bad people. They're just not my people. And it's like I don't want to own that. I don't want to face that, but like that's the fucking truth. And it's I've been trying to make it work for so many years and I'm tired. I'm sick of it. You know? To me, the hardest thing about all of this is something I cry about and I mourn, and I have been mourning and I've been trying to process this, is that life is so short. And I've always lived life like that. It's one of the reasons why I'm very forgiving. Life is so short. Everyone I've ever known that died abruptly. Abruptly? I don't know what the word is. Like everyone that died really young before the time, whatever you want to call it. Whether it's my friends from High on Life who died tragically trying to save each other's life before they were 30, or when I was in high school, my friend Stefan at 13 got punched in the temple and fell down the stairs and died. Or my grandparents who barely made it to their 60th birthday. My grandpa died at 59. Everyone that I've ever known has died really young, and it's always made me be very forgiving, very understanding, and I get scared. I get scared that it's going to be too late, and that's something that haunts me. It makes me feel guilty. And at the same time, I'm highly spiritual, and one gift that I have is dreamland. I'm really good at talking to past loved ones and being a medium, talking to past loved ones in my dreams and getting messages and connecting with their soul in my dream. And I know that this is why this whole parent thing has just been so difficult, is because I swear to God, I saw something flash in my preview vision. So of course that shit would happen. Validation from the other side, but please don't scare me for that. Here's the crazy thing. I have learned through my spiritual gifts that life doesn't end when someone dies. Like, your connection with someone doesn't end because they die. I actually have learned to have a connection with the other side. Once someone passes from here and they transition to the other side, I have a gift where I know how to make connection with them through my dreams specifically, but there are other ways. The hardest thing is having your parents be alive and not being able to talk to them. If they weren't alive, which God forbid, I want them to be alive. I hope you're not like misintruding what I'm trying to say, but like if they weren't alive, I can communicate with them through my dreams. I know how, but they're alive and they're here and I can't communicate with them, and it's crazy. What's crazy is yesterday I did a massage because I felt like there was a lot of trapped energy in my body over sadness and grief over my parents and my family and like what all this realizations that I've been having recently. So I went, I did a massage, and I cried at the end of it. And it's good. It's healing. You should cry. I mean, don't get a massage and just cry, but like massages move energies. And a lot of times you can't cry afterwards. That's never happened to me, by the way. That was my first time. But afterwards, I went for a drive and I drove for a really long time and I started to cry. And I was like crying for a really long time. And I was crying because no one ever prepares you, like losing your parents while they're still alive. No one ever talks about that grief. No one ever prepares you to lose the longest relationship you've ever had in your life. No one ever prepares you for that. I think it's I've been traumatized so many times in my life And because I've been traumatized so many times, I always try to prepare. I always try to be well prepared for scenarios and things. Like Peanut's alive and I love him to pieces and may he live on forever and ever and just may I have so much more years with him. Amen. Knock wood. Khamsa khamsa. But like I have been preparing for Peanut to not be here since the moment he was a baby. I think about it almost every day without even wanting to because I'm so petrified of that day. But I've been preparing myself. I've been preparing myself for years to be a mother. I've been preparing myself for years to be a wife. I've been preparing myself. But no one ever prepared me to grieve my parents, to grieve the parents that I'm never going to have. No one ever prepared me to lose the longest relationship of my life. My parents are my two longest relationships. Your parents are your two longest relationship, and no one ever prepares you for that loss.
So I actually recorded this podcast episode at the end of January, and I'm here to report that I've done a lot of work around this entire topic. That's been very healing. One of the things that I did is a gallbladder and liver cleanse that helped me remove a lot of sadness, anger, betrayal, abandonment, energies out of my body. That's number one. And if you haven't heard that podcast episode, it's the one right before this. So definitely go back and listen to that. I additionally did a lot of mindset work around this entire topic. And I kind of guided myself through different ways of healing, which I will share in future episodes in relations to family. But I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode and that it made you feel a little less alone and a little bit more seen and understood. I send all my black sheeps big hugs and so much compassion and love, and I'll see you on the next episode.